Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up, my rugby league game in the weekend. Which one would it be? Would it be one of the two from the Betfred Super League North or the Betfred Super League South? Plus, another grand finalist retires with immediate effect. Salford and former England prop Lee Mossop has retired with immediate effect on medical grounds. The 32-year-old ends a career that included spells at Wigan, Parramatta and Huddersfield, among others. Mossop won 2 grand finals and 2 Challenge Cups at the Warriors, as well as leading Salford to both of those finals as captain. It's been no secret that I've struggled with my shoulder issues the majority of my career, Mossop said, but after seeing the surgeon last week, he told me that there is no more surgeries he can offer to prolong my career, and instead it will be one final operation to give me a better quality of life with my wife and children. That's really sad news coming from the Cumbrian-born front rower who has made over 140 appearances for Wigan, played for England at the 2013 World Cup, and also represented the Eels in the Elite National Rugby League in Australia. Mossop's arrival helped turn Salford under Ian Watson into a side that was pushing for trophies, and his semi-final try against Wigan to help them reach the grand final in 2019 was a highlight of one of 7 in 79 games for the club. Salford Red Devils head coach Richard Marshall said on Mossop, "What a fantastic career Lee leaves behind. Any good leader or captain purpose is to leave the shirts, the club and the environment in a better place. Moose ticks all those boxes. Since my first week at the club, he's been a pleasure to work with. His passion for the team is unwavering. He leads by example both on and off the field." So during his career, Mossop has played 238 top flight games, whether that's with first grade games, shall we say that, because there are appearances for Barrow Raiders and Workington Town during his playing career. He also scored 19 tries and was part of the Wigan side, as I mentioned, that won the grand final a couple of times as well. He was attracting in 2010 interest from the Canterbury Bulldogs, but he signed a 5-year deal with the Wigan club, which would stay until the end of 2014. Wigan's 2011 Challenge Cup final victory was his first trophy as a Wigan player and as a player in top flight rugby league, and he was part of the England Knight squad, a team of emerging Super League and future England Rugby League stars. He's had a stellar career at the top level and ends it a little bit prematurely, as he was one of 2 at Salford, him and Kevin Brown, that had announced that they were going to finish their careers at Salford at the end of the season. But we have to do what our doctors say. So good luck, Lee Mossop. Well done on your career, and hopefully we'll see you more and more as time goes on in some form of rugby league. So now back to the resumption of the Northern Women's Super League, and we start off with Wakefield Trinity's game against the Featherstone Rovers. During this this period, there has been an overhaul to the Trinity's pack over the last few weeks, and the home side started the game with 6 new faces, and with little time to bed them in. Featherstone Rovers ran riot. So 6 first half tries came into play for Featherstone, as on the 8th minute Brogan Kennedy went over, Lauren Roberts on the 10th minute and Jess Courtman on the 15th made the scores 14 points to nil, with only one try, the first try, converted by Jess Courtman. On the 28th minute, Frank Copley crossed over for the 4th try of the half for Rovers, and Courtman missed, unfortunately, with this kick, even though it was the hardest one of the day. Chloe Billington followed up with a try on the 32nd minute, collecting a loose ball in her own half and running the rest of the length of the field to score under the posts. Hepworth took over the kicking duties at this point and converted the try as well. And then just before half time, for the 6th try of the half, Liv Grace powered over through a tackle to cross the line for her first try of the game. Hepworth unfortunately missed this kick, and it was 28 points to nil at half time to Featherstone Rovers. Jess Courtman ran in a second try just after the 42nd minute from the first attacking set of the second half. Unfortunately, Wakefield's misery with the boot, Featherstone's misery with the boot continued as Hepworth again missed the kick. On the 44th minute, Frank Copley added a second try of the afternoon, a run from halfway for the Ireland international to score. Courtman took over the kicking duties and added the extras this time. And on top of that, a hat-trick for Jess Courtman came on the 48th minute, collecting a ball welling from 20 metres out and then stepped the last defender to run in a 3rd try of the afternoon. Plus, she was able to convert this try. On the 50th minute, Billington was in again for a second to put the scores to 48 points to nil. And again, unfortunately, the kicking of Featherstone let them down, as this one was also missed. And in the dying embers of the game, it was Cairo Newby who scored her try, but the scores ended 52 points to nil, as Cairo Newby's try was not converted either. Our other game of this Sunday for the Women's Super League North was the Warrington Wolves playing host to the Huddersfield Giants at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. As most of the games have been played at Victoria Park this year, a trip to play at their home at the stadium was probably a great motivator for the Warrington Wolves. But unfortunately, the Warrington Wolves women suffered defeat after a second half comeback from Huddersfield Giants. Gave the scores a 26 points to 28 scoreline. Huddersfield went in front early on with Amelia Brown crossing in the corner before the Wire were back on level terms after Georgia Sutherland finished off some good work for Holly Jones. Warrington hit the front after some sustained pressure on the Giants line when Amani Pitt crashed over from close range. Wire extended their lead halfway through the first half. The Huddersfield fullback couldn't gather a bouncing ball, which allowed Emily Downs to capitalise to score. The Giants had their reply as quick as the break approached as Erin Scott found Brown free on the right edge again, as she managed to race away and beat Jones to the second score of the day. Sutherland also notched her second shortly after when Danny Bound stripped the ball and Sutherland finished from close range. Huddersfield narrowed the gap shortly after the restart, after Isabel Goldthrop, after she managed to weave her way through the wire defence to touchdown. Giants were ahead on 55 minutes when Alicia Watson crashed over in the corner. Huddersfield extended their lead with 11 minutes to go after Goldthrop raced through once again to score her second try of the game. Bound gave Wire some hope late on after scampering over from close range, but the Giants managed to hold on and see out the game to finish 28 points to 26. Davis finished on with 3 kicks for 5, and Townend for Huddersfield kicked 4 out of her 5 goals. That was the only difference between the two sides. So, this game was very, very one-sided for the Cardiff Demons, as the scores ended up 106 points to 0 to the Cardiff Demons. There's a link just on my right shoulder, your left-hand side of the screen, to the actual match report. As you can see, all 11 players and a fully comprehensive write-up of who scored what, where and when. Please follow that information for that. Now, I'm going to mention what this could be, as these two teams are the representatives from that side of the Southern Conference, representatives in the semi-finals day against the Army and the London Broncos. So Cardiff go into the game against the London Broncos in great form, as they've scored over 300 points in their games, and will be looking to set a precedent of who and what and a pecking order for the best team in the Women's Super League South. The Golden Ferns, on the other hand, are a developing team. I reckon they need a few players to progress there, but they can make a showing against two of the better sides. Hopefully play better than this game against the Army side when they go visit them on the 15th of August. So it's going to be all big amounts of fun about what's going on, and hopefully a better result will come their way, and a good performance, possibly in front of cameras as well, will show them in the light that they deserve and the commitment that they deserve. Maybe even spring a surprise on the London Broncos, as I'm going to explain what happens when people compete against them in a few moments. So, as we were talking about the London Broncos, we go on to their game against the Betfred Tigers, and they were entertaining a Betfred side who have been up against a strong Army side and a London Broncos side who have been playing games for quite a few years, with a few players that are played all over, as well as including at the Army's base. So we were thinking now was all going to be a full-on conclusion for the London Broncos to finish off their regular season with a victory against Betfred Tigers, ready for their semi-final game against the Golden Ferns. Or Cardiff, Cardiff. Anyway, so, but it wasn't to be, as the Tigers were the first in for the try. Powerful burst by Caroline Coley opened the scoring after a right edge break by herself, which led to the scoring of a sidestep, as in going past the Broncos fullback. Tigers were in again on the 15th minute. A Taylor Grubber is played at by the Broncos and was given 6 again to the Tigers as Taylor recovered it, but she passed out wide right and it went through the hands of Stanton and Coley to find Siobhan Drummond power over in the right hand corner. After a repeat set for the Broncos, though, on the 19th minute, Emily Hughes powers a set-up drive towards the sticks, and as the play continues, Broncos ship the ball left through the hands of Treco, and the ball hits the floor for Cairns to score on the left-hand edge. Broncos reply, though, as Broncos have a lot of possession, but not much to show for it. But dummy half Iona McClusker was set up left of the posts and finds Jamie Blazewski to crash over the line left of the posts, a bit closer in, where Salter adds the first conversion of the game, where number 7 Taylor was unable to convert the 2 tries for the Tigers, making the scores 10-8. Tigers, though, come straight back on the 38th minute as Lil Stanton, who had just been keeping it simple throughout the entire half, playing the right hand edge in offense and handing the ball on to the powerful Drummond to go for the runs. But this time she decides to attack on her own 30-meter line, and the gap opens up and she has enough pace to break through and power past the Broncos fullback to score just right to the post. Unfortunately, the kick by Taylor is missed, but Tigers go in at half time, 14 points to 10 in the lead. Unfortunately, the Tigers' efforts were immediately from the kickoff of the second half for naught, as Drummond unfortunately fumbles the ball back into the possession of the Broncos, who were on the very next drive set up an Emily Hughes rampaging run through the middle of the sticks for a try, which Salter duly converts. Broncos are in again not long after in the 45th minute, as a great set-up run and offload by McCormack to McCusker sets the Broncos on the attack, and once more McCusker's pass goes on to Selby, and Selby, this in turn, rampages towards the post and scores underneath the post as well. Salter adds her second conversion, so that the lead is up the Broncos. Betfred come back again as a run for a dummy half after Betfred worked the ball up the field to about 1 meter away from the Broncos try line. Brazilian World Cup callie Frankie Bunting takes the ball from dummy half and powers over the line. The ref is about to blow for her being held up, but she works her right arm free to score to bring the Tigers back into the game. Unfortunately, the kick is missed from the Tigers, and I think the missed kicks are the only reason Bedford don't get a better result, shall we say that. Ruth Mottishead is a very popular scorer for the Broncos, as she scores on the left-hand side of the Broncos attack. After being stopped on the Tigers line with some desperation of defence, the Broncos work the overlap on the left edge to create the Mottishead try. Salter is unable to add the extras, but the Broncos are back in again on the 56th minute. The ball is worked right inside the Tigers' 10-meter line, and the ball reaches Longdon Hughes, who powers over the line to score right to the post, which Salter again converts. This means the scores are 32 points to 18 to the London Broncos. The Broncos are in again on the 60th minute as the game seems to be getting away from the Tigers, as the Broncos are controlling the ball, but due to this set finishing inside the Tigers 10 for the Broncos, on the first tackle the Tigers winger is stripped one-on-one of the ball by Emily Hughes, who scores right hand side of the posts and to score her second try of the game. This kick though is missed by Salter, and this gives a little bit of impetus to the Tigers as they decide to start playing the ball faster, quick balls through the hand, as on the 63rd minute a try is given to the Tigers, and it's a well worked try. A quick ship ball left finds Coley in her home 20-metre line, and she gets a burst of pace around the Broncos defence and past the right hand edge of the London defence. She faces up against the Broncos fullback and has the pace to scorch her on her left hand side to score 10 metres in from the post. Taylor's kick is successful. And not long after that, on the 70th minute, Coley's in at it again for the Tigers for a hat-trick try. It's a carbon copy of a try, but with a few more passes through the Tigers' hands and a few more despairing tackles by the London defenders. And she scores it in the exact same spot for Taylor to add the extras again, to make it a 6-point ball game at 36 points to 30 on the 70th minute. It was a bit of an arm wrestle after this, but the Broncos got control, and on the 77th minute in the left corner, Captain Traco for Broncos, it scores. Player of the match Kay Selby receives the ball left of the posts, makes a run towards the line, and in the tackle she gets the ball out to her captain, and the number 6 scores right in the corner. Salter adds the extras with this fantastic kick as the game is coming to an end, and that's how the game ends, unfortunately for the Tigers. 42 points to 30 for the London Broncos. I must say, this is a video that they should look at Cardiff or Burns. Oh, it is the Burns that's playing them. No, it's Cardiff. I was right. As pace will be a factor in their attack, but they have to control that forward pack of London, as they have 4 props that spell that are very, very good. McCormick, Longden U, Selby and Lizevsky do rotate, and they're all direct runners with the ball and also front up when it comes to defence. So that's the basis of that London defence and defence. London need a couple more, I must admit, on the edge, and possibly a playmaker as a number 7 to make the goal forward a bit more fluid and to control the game when they have the ball in hand. It could blow a lot of teams away, but that's for the future. Semi-finals are coming up with London, Cardiff, Golden Ferns and the Army. So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, like, subscribe and share this video worldwide. I can't do this without you, so please share. Get your mates to subscribe. Get Rugby League out there. We need your help. Please. All I can say is thank you for all watching. All the best, and I'll see you in the next video.